Hey friends, I'm Miss B. Today I'm reading to you from the island of Dominican Republic. This island is home to the Hispaniolan solenodon. This is one of the rarest mammals in the world, found only in Dominican Republic and Haiti. It looks like a large shrew, and it's unique because it's one of the few venomous mammals. Very interesting. Let's check out some more fun facts while we read What If You Had an Animal Home by Sandra Markle, illustrated by Howard McWilliam. What if one day when you woke up, your room looked a little bit strange, and you discovered that the home you live in was now very different? What if an animal's home had taken its place? Beaver. A beaver's lodge is its home. First, it piles up mud and rocks. Next, it gnaws branches off trees and heaps a big mound atop this space. The beaver chews several underwater entrances into this mound. Inside, it hollows out a living space. Leafy bedding makes it a cozy home for raising kits, baby beavers. Fact, a beaver's building tools are its big, sharp incisors. Those are the front teeth. These have a super hard coating and never stop growing, so a beaver can keep gnawing. If you had a beaver's home, doing homework would be muddy fun. Great bowerbird. A male great bowerbird's bower is his home, but it's only while he's competing in the annual Best Bower contest. First, he creates a twig mat. Into this, he pokes tall sticks to form a walk-around for displaying pebbles and colorful objects. Each female chooses and mates with her best bower winner. Then, she builds a tree nest home and raises the pair's chicks, aka baby birds. Fact, a male great bowerbird steals from other males to make sure his bower is the greatest. If you had a male great bowerbird's home, you'd be the neighborhood decorating contest's biggest winner ever. Honeybees, my favorite. A honeybee's hive is its home. A hive has lots of six-sided rooms called cells. Honeybees need a big home to store enough honey and pollen to feed everyone. The queen bee produces as many as 2,000 eggs a day to keep the family growing. And every larva, also called a baby bee, gets its own cell with nurse bees on duty for care and feeding. Fact, young worker bees produce tiny slivers of wax. Older worker bees collect these to build and repair the hive cells. If you had a honeybee's home, you'd have your own room, plus room service. Mexican Freetail Bat. A Mexican Freetail Bat's cave is its home. It shares this space with lots of other bats, sometimes millions. All day, it stays home and rests. At night, it exits the cave and swoops through the air, eating all the flying insects it catches. When females have pups, also called baby bats, they leave them home while they go out to eat. Upon returning, each female follows its own pup's calls to find it again. Fact, a Mexican free-tailed bat sleeps hanging upside down, using its toe claw to grip and hold on tight. If you had a Mexican free-tailed bat's home, it would be a great place to hang out with friends. Sociable weaver bird. A sociable weaver bird's nest is its home. They live there year-round. More than 100 birds may live together and share in building the nest. Now that's a lot of people in one house. First, they make a roof of large twigs and dry grasses. Underneath, in what looks like a haystack, the birds make their own homes. Like an apartment building, each home has a short tunnel leading into a cozy 6-inch wide chamber. Every year, social weaver birds repair and expand their shared home. Fact, social weaver birds build the world's biggest tree nests. They can be 20 feet wide and 10 feet tall. If you had a social weaver bird's home, you'd always have friends next door. Mircat. A meerkat's underground burrow is its home. This network of tunnels and chambers may spread out 200 feet and have 100 entrances. Meerkats usually live in groups and share the burrow digging work. They may also have 20 or more burrows, so home is always nearby. And if a jackal or other predator comes close, a meerkat easily pops home and stays safe. Fact, when meerkat pups are born, the group sticks to one burrow for about 3 weeks. Adults take turns skipping daytime feeding to babysit. If you had a meerkat's home, you'd play hide and seek indoors for hours. Mound building termite. A mound building termite's underground nest is its home. It lives there with its family. There is an egg-laying queen, Larvae, also called baby termites, males, soldiers, and millions of workers. The workers build the nest. As they make the nest's underground chambers and passageways, they carry the waste dirt up and out. Their dump becomes the mound. In fact, the average mound-building termite mound is 9 feet tall, but some in Australia are 26 feet tall. If you had a mound-building termite's home, you'd easily shape your bedroom into the room of your dreams. Gray squirrel. A gray squirrel's dray is its home. It builds high up on a strong tree branch. Snipping off twigs with its sharp front teeth, it makes a platform. Using more twigs, it weaves the sides and roof. When finished, the dray is basketball-sized with a flap-like door. But one dray is not enough. It builds 4 or 5, so good food sources are always close to home. Fact: a gray squirrel keeps rain and wind out by coating its dray with moss and leaves. If you had a gray squirrel's home, you'd build an amazing treehouse fort. Hermit crab. A hermit crab's shell is its home. It needs it to cover its rear end, the only part of its body lacking a shell-like coat. Though a shell it finds may be a great fit, it's never the perfect home. So a hermit crab checks out every empty shell it comes across. It may switch shells or keep its old home until it grows and needs one that's bigger, or until it spots another shell. Fact: some hermit crabs stick sea anemones on their shell. Their stinging tentacles help keep hermit crabs from being fish food. If you had a hermit crab's home, you'd have shelter wherever you go. Orbweaver Spider. An Orbweaver spider's web is its home. It's also a mid-air trap. To create it, the spider produces different kinds of silk, some dry, some sticky. First, the Orbweaver spins its web's frame with dry silk. Next, it builds a spiral of sticky silk, creating the web's nest. Now the spider can be sure any insect that visits its home stays for dinner. Yummy! Fact: an Orbweaver spider shoots bands of silk over prey that lands in its web. Then it wraps this up to dine on later. If you had an Orbweaver spider's home, you'd never have a surprise visitor. Black bear. A black bear's den is its home, but it only spends winters there. It may be a home it has used before or a new home it finds or digs. Before settling, a black bear carries in leaves and grasses to make a bed. Males den alone, but females share with cubs. A black bear will quickly wake to face danger, but left alone, it snoozes till spring. Fact: black bear cubs are born in January. They will be big enough to go into the world come spring. If you had a black bear's home, you'd only spend the winter there, but you'd be so comfy you'd stay for months and months and months. Having an animal's home could be cool for a while. So if you could stay for more than one day, which home would be right for you? Luckily, you don't have to choose. You will always live where people live. People who live in some of the Earth's most challenging places have very special homes. They are built to keep people who live there safely sheltered. An igloo is a home for cold, frozen parts of Alaska, Canada, and the Arctic. Building materials are available after each snowfall, and it makes a good temporary shelter from blizzards. A yurt is a sturdy home just right for very windy parts of Central Asia, such as Mongolia. It has an easy-to-take-apart wood frame, and it's covered with layers of wood, felt, or other fabric. For families tending to grazing animals, it lets them take their home along wherever they travel. A dugout is a home built by digging into hillsides by people living in Coober Pedy, Australia. The soil there is stable enough to make large rooms, and by being underground, the residents escape hot summer days and cold winter nights. A rock-cut home is a natural for people living with easy-to-carve rock formations, like those in Cappadocia, Turkey. Building and living in these homes is believed to date back to ancient times. Sometimes even the tables and beds are carved out of rock. A mudaf is a house built of dried reeds on top of a floating reed island. It's the perfect home for the marshes of southern Iraq. Construction starts by cutting reeds and making long bundles. These are bent and tied together, forming arches. Woven mats laid over the reed beams form the roof and walls. A turf house is a kind of home built in Iceland since ancient times. Turf is grass plus a layer of dirt. A turf house is built with turf blocks set on a supporting wood frame. Turf is such good insulation that the house stays cool in summer and warm in winter. Thanks for reading with me today, friends. Check out my channel for some more cool animal books. Later, Gators, learn, grow, and let the stories flow. Like and subscribe.